Hi everybody, how are you doing today? It's a beautiful day for a celebration. Thank you all for coming out, and happy EMS week to anybody that is in EMS or is related to anybody in EMS. We gather here for a great reason today. That's to celebrate our crew and kick off our years-long celebration of our 60th anniversary of service to the communities of Bennington, Shaftesbury, and Woodford. EMS providers, like many in public health and safety professions, experience some of the worst things you can imagine on a daily basis. Things you might encounter one or two times in your life, that may happen every shift. And that is a lot of what EMS providers, our friends in public safety and in healthcare, are going through every day. So, got to get together every once in a while and celebrate and have a great reason to come out on a beautiful Friday leading into a holiday weekend. So our crew's on the front lines not only of emergency medicine, but as a safety net for our community. For those who suffer from mental health issues, the opioid and substance use disorder crisis, those that don't know how or don't have access to resources like housing, your primary care, all of those things on a daily basis. So we're a part of that safety net with the emergency department, and one of the reasons we love to work so closely with them and the rest of our partners. However, today again is about celebration, something we don't get to do often. I do want to thank all of our local businesses who helped contribute to our EMS week and making sure that it was so successful for our crew members. So we've had a ton of community organizations come together, donate meals, dollars, or services to our crew members, which we greatly appreciate. Today is a brief, hopefully, we're asking everybody to keep their comments to about a minute or two so that we can all enjoy the rest of this day. Talk about the great things that our crew does every day. Our number of local, state, and federal representatives who are unable to make it today. Oh, there we go. We're just going to cut off there. And we have some letters of support that we've received from some of them displayed in the back as you get a chance to go through things. We also have a historical display back there so you can see what the ambulance driver and original EMT books were, and then what an EMT and paramedic textbook looks like now, which even the EMT one is as big as all of the old ones combined. It's about 1,400 pages in one EMT textbook. We also have some of our members that have served previously. So Tim Finney, who was with Bennington Rescue as an active member for 45 years. Behind me in the back is Bill Collins, who served at Bennington Rescue 1 year longer than I was alive. That's the way I would think about that. Thank you to Bill. Bill recently retired too, and we can't thank you both enough for the service to our community and to Bennington Rescue as a whole. So first, we're gonna get those words out of the way. So first we'll have Tom, you're here on behalf of the Select Board. So Tom Haley, our Vice Chair of Bennington Select Board.
Hi, I am really excited to be here today. It's a huge honor for me. And when I was preparing my remarks, thinking about what I wanted to say, I thought it was kind of a rehash of the proclamation that we signed. It's right over there on the table. You can go read that. I thought instead I would share more personal experiences that I've had with the Bennington Rescue Squad. I've needed their help 3 times in my life. The first time I was in 3rd grade, living on Gage Street across from Willie's. I was playing hide and seek with my friend Tony. I was it. I was chasing Tony. The car missed him, but it didn't miss me. I wasn't badly hurt. I just bumps and bruises and a lot of road rash. And I must have lost consciousness for a little bit because I don't really remember actually getting hit. And the first thing I remember when I came to was the EMS person kneeling over me. I was furious. I was convinced it was Tony's fault, and I really wanted to kill him. So they calmed me down. They took control of the situation. They calmed my mother down, who was in hysterics. You're going to find that might be a theme in what I'm talking about. The second time that I needed help, I was sitting at home in my office chair doing some work on the computer. I have a degenerative disc disorder. My back occasionally refuses to operate. And I went to get up out of the chair and found that there was no way in hell that I was going to be able to move. So I sat there for about 2 hours, because I'm a man, and tried to figure out ways to get myself out of the chair. That didn't work. I called my girlfriend at the time. She came home, tried to get me out of the chair. That didn't work. So finally we called the squad. And the two folks showed up, two women showed up, and they were incredibly helpful. It became quickly evident that they couldn't get me out of the chair either. So they ended up calling a paramedic who came over, and I don't know what was in that needle that he gave me, but he will be a friend of mine for life. That was the first time that I had no pain whatsoever, and as long as I can remember, even since then. The third time, I had a heart attack. And I was on my way to work in Old Bennington. I was walking up the hill past the monument, past the museum. And it was clear to me that something was seriously wrong. I actually managed to walk another quarter mile till I got to where I was working. Fortunately, the person I was working for is a doctor. He took one look at me, took my pulse, and rushed me right to the hospital. But I needed a ride to Albany, and I needed it quick. And I was terrified. And the EMS workers that gave me a ride to the hospital calmed me down, took me out of the situation. They are consummate professionals in everything they do. And I never had a chance to thank them before today, but I will, if any of you are still here, I will thank you now, and I will thank you all for what you continue to do for the town of Bennington. Really, words cannot express the gratitude that we hold for every single one of you. So thank you.
Next we have Haley Perro, Outreach Director from Senator Sanders' office.
Thank you. That's so possible to follow. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Haley Perro. I'm Senator Sanders' Outreach Director. I'm really sorry that Bernie can't be here today, but I know he would be so impressed to see the community coming together, standing up, and really appreciating EMS. And just want to thank Bill and the leaders who have come before him and the crew members here for all you do for your community. I'm not an EMT, but I know it's a really, really tough job. EMT to paramedic, everything in between. The hours can be long. The training can be really hard or expensive, although it sounds like Bennington Rescue is doing some amazing things to make it easier. And the calls you go to. As I think Bill mentioned, it's often on the worst day of people's lives. But you do it, and I don't know how you do it or why you do it, but I'm so grateful you do. You do it with professionalism. You're really, really true public servants. And I just want you to know that Bernie really appreciates what you're doing, you and your colleagues around the state, and really wants to bring as many federal resources to bear to make sure that you're actually supported to do it, that you have funding for the equipment you need, the training you need, the pay you need, because you're just so important to the rural healthcare system. We couldn't do it without you. Your neighbors, your community, and Vermonters rely on you when they call 911 that you're going to show up. So really just want to say thank you. Thanks, Bill.
Next, we're going to call up Trey Dobson, CMO of SVMC and SV Healthcare.
So as we're here thanking EMS for all they do, I thought of 5 things for us to consider. I could have come up with 10, but I can't remember anything past 5. So right. The first is that all of our businesses have been suffering with workplace shortages, supply chain shortages. But usually what we can do is we can sort of curtail our hours or even curtail our services. Emergency medical services and many other services really cannot do that. They still have to work through the workplace shortages. They still have to find a way to do what they do. And that usually is just by working not 40 hours, but 96 and plus hours just to get through for the community. And they do it because they want to, and they do it because they care. They do it because they went into this field to limit suffering among their friends, their relatives, and the community. So thank you for that. That's number one. Number two, and this is just very difficult to say, but workplace violence has really affected EMS and emergency services at the hospital. Fortunately, made some headway with some recent legislation. A lot of you all were all involved in that, and thank you. But we cannot tolerate that. We have to continue to work on that. We saw through, actually over the past decade, workplace violence in healthcare has increased, but then unfortunately the pandemic really escalated that. So they need our support in that way. The next is, this is just remarkable to me. I have to do a lot of quality and safety review at the hospital, and it's not just for the hospital, it's for the community. And the quality and safety has been maintained throughout all of this workforce shortage from Bennington Rescue. And they really need a hand for that, because that's incredibly important. Two more things EMS has been doing, but also the hospital, law enforcement, everyone, we have to collaborate even more together. We have to stay close. As we watch this country, unfortunately, become more and more divided, we can't let those political things interrupt what we're trying to do for the community. And we are much stronger together. And I think we're doing that in this community, and that's really important. And finally, healthcare costs are too much. We talk about bending the cost curve. Hey, that's old news. It's already too high. It's too high for individuals, all of us sitting here, and it's too high for businesses. But unfortunately, in EMS and what we do in healthcare, the reimbursement actually no longer covers the cost of what we are doing. So if I had an answer for that, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'd be somewhere. I don't have an answer except to just draw our attention to it and remind us that EMS needs support and all of healthcare needs support right now until we can get that solution solved. So I don't know if there's a way to get money here, but maybe they can do that at the very end.
You can scan the QR code on
There
the
you
banner
go.
to let your donation say. And if you don't want to donate directly, it also links to our 60th anniversary merchandise if you'd like something that has our 60th anniversary logo on it. So, good plug. Good plug. Next, Dr. Sean Burns, who's our regional medical director.
So, yeah, I'm Dr. Sean Burns, not Doogie. I've gotten that a lot lately up here. But, so, yeah, I'm newly minted in the district medical advisor position here. So I've been working with these awesome guys for the past couple months, I'd say. I'm coming from Boston, so moving to this area now with my family. We're not treating patients anymore. I realize these guys are treating their family members, their neighbors, all these local community leaders, all sorts of people, and I can't even express how different and challenging and rewarding and amazing that is to see. So while I'm over at the hospital with every tool and medication, and a ton of staff, I'm thinking of these guys responding out there, first ones on scene, meeting, like I said, their neighbors, their community members on how the worst day of their life, and that is like something I can't even put into words how much we appreciate that and respect that. So I'm very happy to be here now with my family and feel blessed that I know if anything ever happens, we know who we can count on. So thank you all.
And last but not least, Representative Mary Morrissey. Yeah.
First of all, thank you so very much for having me here today. And I look around at these amazing people, Bill and Tim, we honor you for your years of service and for all the folks that have been here for as many years as you have, and the new ones on this course. And you're only 4 months into this, running this extremely wonderful group of people that provide every day in our community service to not only our families, neighbors, friends, it's just amazing. We had a proclamation done for you at this State House that honors first of all, EMS Week, which you're all a part of, but it also honors all of you for the amazing work you do each and every day. And you will all be a part of history in the state of Vermont, because this does go down in the archives of the history of Vermont. House concurrent resolution congratulating the Bennington Rescue Squad on its 60th anniversary. And it's offered by Representative Morrissey, myself. I asked my fellow members, Representative Carroll, Corcoran, and Whitman, as well as Senators Campion and Sayers. Whereas in 1963, the Vermont State Police, the Hoosick Falls Rescue Squad, and the local funeral directors and service clubs coalesced to establish the Volunteer Rescue Squad, the Squad. And its founding fathers were William Baker, Andre Beatty, Edward Gardner, John Kennedy, John Marshall, William Madison Jr., and Alfred Paysono. And whereas the squad was initially headquartered in the Trimont, Texaco station in Bennington, and the proprietor, Andre Beatty, handled daytime dispatching with the Bennington Police Department, assuming his role at night. And whereas a garage on Safford Street served as the squad's second home, and in the late 1970s, McKinley Street became its permanent site in the building, since extensively expanding and updating. And whereas the establishment of the squad greatly improved area access to emergency medical services, which are often life-saving, at home, at work, or on a highway, and dramatically increased the recovery rate of the sudden illness or injury. And whereas the squad hired its first time full employee in 1999, can you imagine? And we thank you for that. And in 2002, the same year, a paramedic level response service was introduced, hired its first executive director, and today it is proud of its broadly based staff of highly trained medical professionals who serve the greater Bennington community with great skill, pride, and distinction. And whereas in 2023, the Bennington Rescue Squad is a superb, and I mean it, superb, full-time professional emergency medical service with a comprehensive vehicle fleet that includes a snowmobile, mass casualty trailer, and offers out-of-hospital care, preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine, primarily in the towns of Bennington, Woodford, and Shasberry. And whereas this stellar rescue organization is celebrating its 60th anniversary with commemorative events during National EMS Week, which is May 21st through the 27th, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the Senate and House of Representatives, that the General Assembly, and this actually does go through the House and the Senate, congratulates the Bennington Rescue Squad on your 60th anniversary, and be it resolved that the Secretary of State be directed to send a copy to the Bennington Rescue Squad. Please stand and give yourselves a wonderful, and the people here, a round of applause.
And representing our state EMS office, Chief of the Department, Amy Dean.
I have no idea how I'm supposed to follow that. That was amazing. But let me give it a shot. So, Bambi Dame, I'm the state EMS chief. And first, I really want to congratulate Bennington on 60 years. Really seen a lot of changes in the last 5 years. I can't imagine 60 from where it started to where we are now. It's been an amazing accomplishment. And a recurring theme that I've heard in all of these speeches is professionals. And that's truly what they are. They are professionals. They're clinicians. They're there, as for EMS Week states, where EMS emergency care begins. Emergency care does not just begin when you walk through the hospital door. It's when they call 911. It's when our staff show up and they provide calming for our patients and for providing that high level of care. So it is amazing. And I also really want to thank, I know EMS Week is really about recognizing our providers, really recognizing all of the hard work in the community. But I really want to also thank the family, friends, and the representatives that enable our providers to do what they do. Without support staff at home and without the community, we really couldn't do what we do. We understand the missed dinners, the leaving birthday parties, and something that we often miss when we thank our family and friends is the understanding of what it's like when you have a loved one come home that's had a really bad day, and the emotional ups and downs that we go through, and having that support system and understanding that, it's amazing. And I just really want to thank you as well as the EMS providers. But thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to read my notes so I don't forget what I'm supposed to say. All right, so first we're going to start with some years of service awards. These may be a little retrospective because we haven't had a chance to get together and celebrate in the life and times of COVID for the last almost 4 years. First we have 5 years of service, paramedic Daniel Becker. Paramedic, FTO, and educator, Rebecca Borowski. And paramedic, Michael Zero. With 3 years of service, we have AEMT, FTO, and educator, Dawson Davis. EMT, Andy Jackson. Our office coordinator, Brenda Kinney. There? And sitting in the back row there, paramedic and critical care paramedic and Captain Jeff Reed. Next, we have our partner recognition awards. These awards are nominated by our crew members for relationships that we have with other entities or individuals that go above and beyond. We have 2 awards now, and we're going to announce a third towards the end of our program today. Our first recognition award goes to a partner we have worked with since the inception of our organization. They're the oldest registered EMS agency in the state of Vermont, predating Bennington Rescue itself. Over the last several years, they've transitioned from a mainly volunteer EMT organization to an advanced life support service. In the past, we've provided paramedic or mutual aid to our neighbors with the ever-increasing 911 call volume. We have had, often with multiple calls occurring at once. Anybody that was here early, all of the ambulances were out because all the crews were on calls. And we call on them whenever we need some assistance. We look forward to many years of regional partnership to come. For these reasons, Pownell Rescue is recognized. I'd like to invite Sam Green up to accept this award on behalf of their head of service, Becky Levine, who's away on a well-deserved vacation. Personally, it gives me great joy to see Sam here today. Sam was one of our original EMT apprentices 5 years ago, then became an advanced EMT, and now is in nursing full-time, while still serving part-time as an EMS provider for her home community of Pownell. So. Our next recognition award, so there we go. There's some Pownell love. There you go. Next recognition award goes to a partner we work closely with on a daily basis. The Bennington Police Department serves steadfast. The officers of Bennington PD help Bennington Rescue achieve positive outcomes in our most critical cases. They're the first ones usually to get to CPR calls, overdoses, or individuals suffering from severe bleeding. All things that people can die from in a matter of minutes. Usually longer than the 6 to 8 minutes it takes an ambulance to respond right here in the middle of Bennington. So you think about some of our more rural areas, even just in this town, Bennington PD is usually there first. This is very challenging every day, but particularly so as we continue to battle the growing epidemic of substance use disorder. Their commitment to saving lives and keeping Bennington Rescue crew and our community safe every day, in and out, has not gone unnoticed. We appreciate and look forward to many years of community-oriented partnership to come. For these reasons, Bennington Police Department is recognized as an essential partner and supporter of Bennington Rescue. I'd like to invite Chief Paul Doucette up to accept this award on behalf of the entire Bennington Police Department.
Would I say something? He knows the answer to that. Why wouldn't I say something? So listen, I have to tell you, I've watched Bennington Rescue grow and expand. I've been with the town now for 33 and a half years. I've watched people come and go. We have the same problem at the police department, come and go. And, working with Tim and Bill and underneath cars, on top of cars, and doing all sorts of great things when I was young and crazy. Still a little crazy. But the bottom line is that we love the Bennington Rescue Squad. It gives us an opportunity to all come together, work together, and save lives. That's what we do. Being able to use tourniquets, being able to use all sorts of great stuff that technology has improved upon for us to work with Bennington Rescue and save lives. Bill's right. We often are the first ones on the scene. Given that windshield report, letting Bennington Rescue Squad members know what's going on, and we usually cannot wait for them to get there to help us out and again save lives. That's what it's all about. And it is a wonderful partnership. We work so well together. I'm excited to be here to represent the Bennington Police Department and the town of Bennington, and keep up the good work, Bill. I appreciate it. Bill left out one little part for those of you that don't know. He is the director here, and he is a true leader. We worked with Bill for years and years and years, and we were so happy to see him become the executive director. So, thank you.
So this awards program is new for us. It was something that one of our captains, Chad Davis, developed for us, and it's a great opportunity to highlight everybody's work. One person who probably doesn't know they're getting an award because I didn't let them know is our second quarter employee recognition. Our supervisory team, they picked somebody because they're in the field with them every day to highlight. And here's what they said. We would like to nominate Corey Bowe, Advanced EMT, for the second quarter Employee Recognition Award. Corey has progressed very well in both patient care and education. She's completed the AEMT education program and her license, and has also stepped up to educate new candidates and start teaching in our EMT program. She exemplifies the qualities and skills that Bennington Rescue represents. She also exemplifies our core values. Corey's well appreciated by her coworkers and the operations team. She's a joy to work with and makes the shift both fun and interesting for her fellow employees. Her desire to better herself and advance both as a clinician and employee only helps Bennington Rescue and the community. She's also started the process of applying to attend paramedic education in the fall. Her determination and success will undoubtedly pave her way through paramedic education. Since joining our crew just last July, Corey has demonstrated her ability to advance herself quickly and professionally among the many other qualities she demonstrates which add to our crew. In recognition of this commitment, Corey is the first recipient of our quarterly Crew Member Recognition Award. Next is our Director's Award for Outstanding Service. Brenda Kitty is our office coordinator and was nominated by Lieutenant Kyle McLean, who can't be here because he's off on vacation. Kyle's nomination reads, Brenda works tirelessly to deal with outside individuals and overcoming struggles that come along with that. She never complains and always gets the job done right. Our supervisory and administrative teams could not agree more. Additionally, Brenda has become CPR and then Vermont Emergency First Responder certified to be able to help in case somebody walks in the building, which does happen on occasion, and we're all gone. So she has an AED and she knows how to do CPR, and that's all we can ask. And she also comes out and helps with events sometimes, like Mayfest and stuff, and it's great to have another trained pair of hands around. Brenda embodies our core values and is committed to the work that we do at Bennington Rescue. In recognition of this commitment, Brenda is receiving a Director's Award for Outstanding Service. The next is our Rookie of the Year Director's Award. So here we go. We're way behind. There we go. There we go. This projector doesn't like to work anyway. There we go. There we go. Jump the gun. Tammy Coyne came to Bennington Rescue in search of a new career helping others. Tammy started with our crew last spring as an EMT apprentice. Tammy will be the first to share how she struggled at times with the EMT training and trying to learn a whole new career. Tammy is now not only a valuable member of this crew as an EMT, but helps in any way possible around the station and is also starting to get into education. Tammy received many nominations, not only from her peers, but equally as many from members of the public with over 10 nominations. I'd like to share one of those nominations from somebody outside of Bennington Rescue. Tammy's worked so hard to achieve her goals with the Bennington Rescue Squad, she goes above and beyond when it comes to her job. As an RN at a local healthcare facility, I trust that her empathy, compassion, and understanding of her job aligns with our values and makes her the best candidate for this nomination. We are lucky as a community to have her serving our patients, family, and friends during the worst times of their lives. Thank you, Tammy. In recognition of this commitment, Tammy receives the Director's Award for Rookie of the Year. There we go. Now we got it. Community Service Award. The Community Service Award recognizes any Bennington Rescue staff member who makes an outstanding commitment to non-patient care aspects of the community. Special emphasis is placed on public information, education, and community relations. Our supervisory team took all the nominations and wrote this about our Community Service Award recipient. After reading this description, just about every member of our staff likely has one person in mind. She continues to be a driving force in community relations and is always the first to sign up to staff community events. This area is a bit of passion project for her. Outside of Bennington Rescue, she's a dedicated member of her church community and participates in events such as Night to Shine, which is a prom night dedicated to people with special needs. When writing this award, we strongly considered calling it the Rebecca Borowski Award. As such, it is only fitting that she should earn the first one. For these reasons, paramedic Rebecca Borowski is the recipient of the Community Service Award. She can't be here. Unfortunately, she has a death in the family and could not be here today. Next is our EMT of the year. We're almost done. We're almost done. Week, year. The EMT of the year honors an EMT or advanced EMT who represents the organization well in all regards, with particular emphasis placed on exemplary patient care, positive peer, supervisory, and community relations, and a commitment to continued professional development. We had many nominations for this award from our crew members, SVMC emergency department nursing staff, and members of the public. We'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that Tammy Coyne, Alex Zabo, and Katie Fox all had nominations for this award in addition to this year's award recipient, and all had multiple from both inside and outside our organization. This person is a physical embodiment of this description. He routinely exhibits all the qualities that define this award. He's the example and character that we should all strive for. After decades of service, he still brings the same devotion to the job, commitment to his patients, peers, trainees, and dependability that is rare with providers of his service time. He can be counted on to do whatever is asked, and that is rare with providers of his service time. Even without complaint, even when the assignment may not seem fair at the time. His attitude towards work and informal leadership makes the supervisor's job easier each and every day. Beyond that, he routinely goes above and beyond for his patients and is a shining example for the future of Bennington Rescue. For these reasons, Advanced EMT Timmy Buck is awarded. Probably the only person here who hates the camera even more than I do. Next is our Paramedic of the Year. Paramedic of the Year award honors a paramedic who represents the organization well in all regards, with particular emphasis on exemplary patient care, positive relations with peers, supervisors, and community, combined with a commitment to continued professional development. Our supervisory team took a look at all the nominations and wrote this about our Paramedic of the Year. This person has always been reliable, willing to go the extra mile, and has provided quality patient care beyond measure. He became an FTO during the height of COVID, and for the better part of the last few years has been our only paramedic FTO. He's carried that burden of that responsibility without complaint. Additionally, he exhibits a sense of humility that is unmatched. He was on the awards committee, and when he learned that he was nearly unanimously not the nominee by his peers, he still made the argument that the award should be given to someone else. He demonstrated leadership qualities and that recently earned him a promotion to the rank of captain. For all these reasons, critical care paramedic Jeff Reed is awarded Paramedic of the Year. Next, we have, we're going to combine a few awards into one here. So our Life-Saving Award recognizes an EMS provider who makes an extremely noteworthy contribution to efforts which result in the saving of a life, which has reasonable expectation of a return to a decent quality of life. So for example, if we're resuscitating somebody from a life-threatening event or illness and injury where they can leave the hospital neurologically intact, so usually walking out of the hospital, that's a win, and it's a rarity. Less than 10% of people who go into cardiac arrest where their heart stopped get successfully resuscitated in the state of Vermont. That we're not unique. Most states it is about 10%. So 1 out of 10 people that need CPR may have a pulse come back. So we're trying to always increase those numbers. Our Meritorious Service Award recognizes any EMS provider for an act that is above and beyond the call of duty during a particular EMS emergency or event. And our Partner Recognition Award acknowledges a member, group, or entire organization whose efforts contributed heavily to a positive outcome, which may be patient-related. In October of 2022, paramedic Michael Zara and paramedic Chad Davis were at SVMC at the ER cleaning up after a call when a car drove into the ambulance bay, blaring on the horn. Chad approached the vehicle to find a man in the passenger seat, unresponsive, pulseless, and not breathing. Chad initiated CPR while Michael brought up the stretcher and equipment. The patient was extricated from the vehicle. CPR continued with the assistance of the ED staff, who then came out to give a hand. They took the patient inside while trying to perform CPR and do all kinds of advanced skills, including defibrillation. The patient went in and out of cardiac arrest multiple times. Eventually, with all their efforts, the patient stabilized and got a pulse back. Attention then turned to getting the patient to where they need to be. So we have a wonderful community hospital, but there's no cardiac services here. So if you need cardiac services, we've got to take you somewhere with cardiac services. So we had to get the patient to Albany Med. With only a few minutes left in their shift, critical care medic Jeff Reed and EMT Rick Knoll were contacted, and they expressed without hesitation agreeing to go on this transfer to get the patient where they needed to be at Albany Med. It took them several hours, way past the end of their scheduled time. They did not rush to return and spent a while explaining all the things to the patient's wife, reassuring her that he was in the best hands. She later expressed gratitude for this special touch. Over the last several months, Chad has been exchanging emails with the patient's wife, who reports that he has made nearly a full recovery and was able to welcome his newest grandchild into the world last month. I actually have a message from Isabel, and then we'll listen to Brian. Isabel, the patient's wife, said, "As we were following directions to the nearest urgent care, my phone lost connection. I told my niece to follow the hospital road signs. I'm so thankful that we did. Brian collapsed in the car as we arrived in the parking lot, and we witnessed an army of angels immediately taking care of him. I watched a team working in unison to save my husband's life. Not a second was wasted. The odds were certainly against Brian, yet you did everything in your power to bring him back to life. And I know that you went above and beyond. This world needs more of you guys." We will forever be grateful and thankful for Chad and Michael, who immediately intervened, the ED staff that worked on Brian, and Jeff and Rick for safely transferring him to Albany, even though their shift was over. Brian is in good care here in Richmond and is getting stronger every day. I am also happy to let you know we welcomed the third grandson, Lucas, April 6th, and we are all in love with him. God bless you all, Isabel Seymour. Additionally, unknown to Chad, I reached out to the family as well. And we have a message from Brian. We'll see how well it plays here.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all that you did to save my life. I'm so thankful I wound up here with you at the hospital. You guys did so much. You jumped right to the help instantly. You were helping us really fast. I just want to say, I'm alive today because of you guys. I'm very thankful for all the dedication that y'all did to help me. My wife and my family were so grateful for the great care I had. And I want to say thank you to all the ones that worked extra hard that day to get me to the other hospital, to deliver me to Albany. And today I'm feeling great. I'm doing wonderful again. My heart is probably the best it's felt in years. And even though I didn't even know I had heart issues, so God bless you. I wish you all the best.
For these actions to save Brian's life that went above and beyond, paramedics Michael Zero and Chad Davis received the Life-Saving Award. Another call. The SVMC Emergency Department receives our Partner Award with special recognition. Dr. Burns was the doctor on duty that day, in addition to the nursing staff that all came out and successfully worked together as a team to resuscitate this patient. So I'd love for that. SVMC team as well. And last but not least, both Rick Knoll and Jeff Reed, the Meritorious Service Award for going above and beyond. They did not have to stay late. We don't make anybody stay late unless there's a 911 call, but they chose to make sure that this patient got where they needed to be. So thank you to Rick and Jeff. All right, with that, that's the end of our awards program. I really want to thank you all for coming out to celebrate this crew and their accomplishments. They work tirelessly every day, and they can never hear thank you enough. So it's my pleasure to spend a few hours to get you all here to give them a round of applause, if you wouldn't mind one more time. All right, we have some light refreshments. We got some historical stuff to look at, and there are some items that you can pick out. We got stickers, we got pens, and everybody have a great safe holiday weekend.